Hello, hi everybody. Today we're going to be talking about how important it is to understand how rejection can actually be a redirection and why it's so important to instill a new mindset how we see rejection. So with that, let's get started. Hi everybody, my name is Miriam and welcome to my little cozy podcast. I want it to be a safe space where we talk about different topics and different experiences and growing ourselves essentially. I think that oftentimes when things don't work out, we really have a hard time of letting go, and that's normal. We're so used to making sure that we post our successes, we boost anything positive happening to us. Social media is all embedded with the highlights of people. You know, on Instagram, it's called highlights for a reason. You're highlighting the key aspects of your life that you want to show. You don't often show yourself when you're on your lowest point. And we usually glamorize our successes but sweep under the rug any hardships that we've gone through. However, those hardships really shape us in becoming more resilient and giving us the strength that we need for certain opportunities. I remember when I first started at my first job out after graduating from my MPH within a public health organization. Within the first year, one person introduced me as a project manager. And I thought they must have not known the years of experience I've had, because I've only had internships, and I listed all the things that made me not qualified. And I really felt like it was not truthful to keep going without having a one-on-one with her to let her know in case it's a mistake. And although it hurt, although I knew that somebody else might be more confident and just take it, I didn't feel that self-confidence, unfortunately, and I had that one-on-one. And to my surprise, she knew. She has seen my work that year and thought, hey, I know you can perform. I didn't think anything less of you. I think you're great for this job as anybody else would, and I've seen your work. Sure, you don't have a lot of experience compared to some, but you have to have somebody believe in you to get that opportunity. And that made me so grateful that I work with somebody that really sees my light and my work ethic, and it made me even work harder for that position. And I was so excited to show up every day because it felt good for somebody to believe in me. Oftentimes, we're not always lucky at having somebody to believe in you. I think it's a great mindset to know that it takes one person to believe in you to give you the right opportunity. So all those 99 rejection, it just takes one person to just know that you can go through it and come out the other side. Being a young woman, oftentimes I feel like it's hard for me to say no. And I really learned that last year. I took on way too much and it was hard for me to say no. And in the time, by saying yes to all these things, it was me saying no to myself. And that hurt because I had no time for myself. I had no time to cook the right meals, to exercise well, to take care of myself fully. So I just want you to realize saying yes to everything means at some point you're going to say no to some things, and that might even include yourself, and that one hurts the hardest because I think it's the most important relationship you can have is with yourself and letting go on what's not serving you and what's not worth your time anymore. That leads me to my next point, that ultimately life is a lesson of letting go. That took me by surprise on how much that resonated with me, because I think oftentimes I have a hard time switching routines. I have a hard time accepting things for how they are if I can't control them fully. But I think a certain aspect of it is realizing you can let go and you'll feel so much lighter. You can't be holding on everything. Think about it as a bag. If you keep holding on to all these things, the bag will eventually rip. And life is a lesson of letting go, whether that's love, relationships, opportunities. Nothing is permanent in this lifetime. And that was a hard pill to swallow because believe me, it's hard to really take that in and swallow it. It's one thing to hear it, but it's another thing to fully take it in. Sometimes I like to journal just to see what else comes up, but letting go means hope. Hope that you know there's something better out there, whatever you believe in. And oftentimes we think of wellness as, your physical well-being, your mental health well-being, your emotional well-being, but the spiritual aspect goes out of the equation oftentimes. So I want to tell you that letting go means hope. There's oftentimes better things out there. Just think about the times that you really wanted something to happen, whether it's that date, that job, that event, and it didn't work out because something greater was on the other side waiting for you. And another thing, one door closes, fully closes. You close that door, 3 will open up. And I don't know if it's 3, but usually it's new opportunities will come once you let go, because you're making more room in your bag to take in other items. And I think life has been so many things. I know I'm in my 20s, but already thinking about all the things that I've gone through that shaped me, I was so fortunate to have my support system to let me be able to wallow in my feelings, to let me grieve the changes and be there. And I'm not shy about saying I did go to therapy during college and afterwards. And I really think therapy should be accessible to everybody. Check in with your state. My state offered pro bono therapy if you meet a specific requirement such as income. And at the time I didn't have a job and I was a college student, and I had somebody in my life pass away unexpectedly. So that was really hard for me to go through, but having somebody to talk with, especially a professional, helped me have the coping mechanism and strategies to be able to cope with such hardship, but also show up for myself in ways that I needed to be, and really help shape the person I am now, which I'm really proud of. And I think therapy is for everybody. There's always something to learn. And another thing that I learned the hard way is not every therapist is going to be a connection. If it doesn't feel right within the second or third time, I think it's time to switch and find somebody else, and that's totally okay. We won't have the same friends, we won't have the same network, and the same thing goes for therapy. And I think oftentimes within uncertain times, it is true. Rejection is redirection, and you just have to focus on yourself and have hope within your future. So with that, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it, and have a great one. I hope you enjoyed this talk, and talk soon. Bye now.